Let's cross to Beirut and speak to Matthieu Karam, a journalist and photographer at the French language Lebanese newspaper L'Orient-Le Jour. Hello to you, Matthieu. Thank you for speaking to Paris
Good
Direct.
morning.
First of all, tell us what life is like right now in Beirut.
I mean, you have displaced people sleeping on the streets, on the waterfront, because no one can usually afford housing at the moment. Prices are soaring. A lot of populations are very suspicious of displaced people, fearing that Hezbollah members could be among them. So the situation is quite catastrophic humanitarily. In Beirut, in the south, you have more than 1 million person displaced. And it seems like it's only the start because the Israeli army chief of staff yesterday said that they might be starting to prepare to have more offensive tactics in the south, and this could lead maybe to another invasion of South Lebanon.
Yeah, and if we listen to the rhetoric coming out of Israel from some of the further right figures, comparing Gaza to Lebanon. So, what are people thinking about in the capital? Are people considering leaving toward the north, or what options do they have?
I mean, there's no more red lines. This is much more dangerous than the 2024 war. We've seen Israeli airstrikes on Beirut inside the center, not just the southern suburb, just a few days ago. No warnings before. So there's a sense of panic, of course. Some people are staying because they have no other place to go, but others are leaving as soon as they can. Some left once, twice, three times from the south, then to the southern suburb, then to central Beirut, and now they're trying to move further north. But this is all putting a strain on the Lebanese society because some regions cannot or don't want to welcome displaced people while others are doing so.
Yeah, and last week, so France's foreign minister visit Lebanon and Israel in hopes of just trying to agree to have talks about a possible ceasefire. Why has that not had any traction yet?
Lebanese authorities, the president and the prime minister, are willing to engage in talks with Israeli counterparts. It is the Israeli counterparts that are refusing to have any talks at the moment. And there's also the Hezbollah factor in Lebanon, and Hezbollah is not in favor of any talks. So it seems that this war might drag on, actually.
Yeah, and when you alluded to it earlier about people being suspicious about displaced people, that perhaps Hezbollah figures were among those. Talk to us about how Lebanon is a diverse country and how there are so many pre-existing tensions between some of these communities and what this fighting could do to exacerbate those.
I mean, we've had a sense of solidarity in the last war, and of course, still some solidarity in this current conflict. But Lebanon is a country composed of 18 different religious sects between Sunni Muslims, Shia Muslims, Christians from different sects, Druze, and not all of them are in favor of Hezbollah and how Hezbollah retaliated against Israel for the killing of Iranian supreme leader. So this is all putting a strain on a big portion of the Lebanese population who is against this war, who thinks that we do not need this war. The country has been in crisis for the past 7 years. So all of this is is exacerbating the tensions between communities. And some experts are fearing that in after this war ends, there could be a risk of a civil war in Lebanon because Hezbollah's weapons might not disappear after this conflict, and Hezbollah fighters have been further pushed away from the south, and they need to move more to the north, where not all the communities there are in favor of the party. So all of this is putting Lebanon at a really high risk, and no one can know what will happen after this conflict ends, actually.
And I've heard various people say that they're afraid that a civil war is down the road. What do you think Israel's ultimate goal is with Lebanon? Is it mindful of that, or do you think that might be even be trying to push the country toward that sort of breaking point?
I think the Israeli authorities' rationale is just to create another buffer zone with its border where they can push the threat from Hezbollah and any other militant group from Israeli territory. So maybe for them it's just let's push away Hezbollah 5, 10 kilometers away from our borders, and the rest they don't really care about that. So for now, we don't know if an Israeli invasion is gonna come next. Where does it stop? because at the moment we have different ground incursions. They're entering in different towns in Lebanon on the border. And the fighting has also shifted towards the southwest part in Naura, which is a big development at the moment because it was focused more on the southeast in the Marjayoun district and Khiam and Taibe, for instance. So for now, it's impossible to read Israeli policy further than that. And it's also going to depend on how the war on Iran develops and if the US stops its offensive on Iran or not, to see what the implications might be on Lebanon. Is it going to push Israel to have a freer hand on Lebanon and focus its military effort on Lebanon even more? This is the big question that Lebanese people are asking themselves.
All right, Matthieu, thank you so much. Matthieu Karam is speaking to us from Beirut.